We're going to practice some interval identification now that you've been shown how intervals work. So let's start in treble clef. Why not? Here is a perfectly good interval. It's an interval of, what's the size? A third. What's the quality? If we were in an F major scale, would A fit? Yes, this is a major third. Using the F as your starting note, what would a minor third above F be? A minor third. It would have to be smaller by a half step than the major third. Okay. What would an augmented third above F be? It would be an A sharp. Can I write B flat instead of A sharp to call it an augmented third? No, because this size looks on the page like a fourth. What kind of fourth is that? If I were in the F major scale, B flat would fit. So is this a major fourth? No, there's no such thing as a major fourth. Remember, we use the word perfect. It's true that the augmented third and the perfect fourth are enharmonic to each other, but they're not the same on the page. They look different on the page, but they sound the same. Kind of like the words red and red. They look different on the page, but they sound the same. And these two words have very different meanings, just as an augmented third and a perfect fourth have very different functions or uses in musical context. Okay, let's switch to bass clef. I would like you to figure out what is a minor sixth above C. Minor sixth above C. We know it's some kind of A. If I were in the C major scale, the A would fit, wouldn't it? That would be major. I need it to be minor. Okay. What is a major second above G sharp? A major second above G sharp. You could think about the G sharp major scale, that's true. Or you could say, well, I know that G to A would be a major second. I'll use the same accidental on both notes and end up with another major second. G sharp to A sharp. Could I write G sharp to B flat instead of A sharp? Would that still be a major second? No, it would not. It would be some kind of third. Let's figure out what kind of third it would be. Let's pretend that there are no accidentals. I'm going to put that pretending down here. If we start with no accidentals, G to B, whoops, that doesn't look very much like a G. There we go. G to B is a major third. Put one of the accidentals that we have in our original back on. Okay, I'll put the B flat on. Did it get bigger or smaller? It got smaller, so now it's a minor third. Now, if I add that G sharp back on, G sharp to B flat, did the interval get bigger or smaller? The bottom note got closer to the top note. It was raised, remember? So it got smaller as well. This is a diminished third. It's true that a major second and a diminished third sound enharmonic to each other, but they have different functions or different uses in music theory. Okay, let's practice a couple more here before I have to erase the page. Let's see. How about I would like a perfect fifth above D flat. Perfect fifth above D flat. A flat. You could do that by thinking of the D flat major scale and getting to the fifth note, which is an A flat. Or you could say, well, the same accidental rule applies for perfect intervals, except for the pair of B and F. So D flat means to be perfect, it has to have an A flat. Okay. Let's do one more. Tell me what this interval is. First of all, what's its size? It's some kind of seventh. All right. Let's do the same thing that we did before. Let's take off all the accidentals. C to B without any accidentals is a major seventh. B fits in the C major scale. C sharp to B means that I've brought the bottom note closer to the top note. Now it would be minor. C sharp to B flat, I've brought the top note closer to the bottom note. It's smaller than minor. It's diminished. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Come on, erase all. And let's do a little more practice. I'm going to write some down for you, and I'd like you to come up with the answers. You can do it as I go if you wish. Pay attention to whether I've asked for something above or below. Okay, pause the video, figure these out, write them down on some staff paper maybe, and then let's see if you're right. Hit play when you're ready to find out the answers. So here are the answers to our intervals. There are just a couple I want to point out. So I'm going to just talk through each of them. Minor third above E. If E were the E major scale, it would be a G sharp. This is too small, so it's a minor third. Perfect fourth above G sharp. Same accidental rule applies. Don't even have to think about it. Just slap a sharp on that C. Perfect fifth below A. Use the same accidental rule again. If I were in D major, using the bottom note as my measuring stick, A would certainly fit, so we did this correctly. Minor seventh above E flat. D flat is the minor seventh. If we were in the E flat major scale, this would have been a D, so it's smaller than major. It's a minor seventh. Minor second below F sharp. You should by now know that F to E is our naturally occurring half step, one of the naturally occurring ones. So F sharp to E sharp is the quickest way to get that minor second relationship. This is the one, the major third here, that I want you to think through with me. Writing intervals below a given note can sometimes feel really weird. So I'm going to start over again and just show that D. I know the answer had to be some kind of B. If this had been the way to do it then is to say, okay, I just wrote the bottom note, but that's going to be my scale to measure against. If this were a B major scale, what kind of D would I have? Don't think about a D major scale. Think about the bottom note, even though you just wrote it. The bottom note is your major scale measuring stick. So in a B major scale, this would have been a D sharp. Oh, but I can't change the given note. I can't put a sharp on it. They won't let me do that on 3 homework. So I need a different kind of B. Well, let's try making it, I don't want to make it B sharp. That sounds terrible. How about B flat? If I were in a B flat major scale, would the D fit? Yes, it would. B flat up to D gives me the major third I need. So whenever you're writing intervals below a given note, remember that the note you wrote is the one that you measure with. And then you can put an accidental on it as needed. After that, we have the major sixth, we have the minor third. Those are all pretty straightforward to figure out from the given note as if it were a major scale.